Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I was due in Nashville, Tennessee, and today on the Hermitcraft server, we're going to set up some cobwebs so that we can use them to launch our elytras. Now, this house is already pretty well situated for, like, flying, because I can just go up to the roof, right, and just jump off. And in theory, I should be okay every time to properly fly and land. But you know what, sometimes I need a little help, and that's okay. So what I want to do is I want to identify a good place down here to set up a cobweb. So I'm kind of thinking maybe something that looks like a chimney a little bit to people who like might see the house. Now there's not actually a fireplace down here underneath this, but it would be kind of cool to set one up now that I'm thinking about it. I wonder if I could set up like a slime block fireplace down here that would pop me up through this, through here, into a series of webs, right? That sounds cool. Oh wait, actually probably will want to maintain that torch. So, let's go ahead and hop up there. And, whoa, we will go ahead and put down a block here to kind of channel the energy, or the smoke or whatever. And then we'll have like a cobweb like this. Whoops. Great. So then, like, once you're in the cobweb, you can actually just kind of point yourself in a direction and fly away. It's pretty convenient. In fact, it's so convenient. Hey, I want to go up to the top of this. Whoa, there's a sleigh up here. This is so cool. I really like this structure. Dang it, I'm going to have to use... Whoa. I was going to say, I don't know if I'm going to be able to jump out over those fences, but I think I still had like a second left of my jump boost ability, which came in handy in that case. So let's see, we are actually on the wrong side of the mountains here. Let's go up and over. And here we arrive at our farm, where I'll be able to grab the redstone materials I need to complete my chimney project for my little other house. So I'm going to go ahead and build a test mechanism out here next to my barn and kind of get a sense of how this is going to work. For example, it should probably point up. Then we'd have one of those. Now, realistically, there's going to be blocks on any given side of this, and we'll put a button on top of the block, I guess. Now, that's not going to do much, so I'm thinking if I put like a redstone piece here. Okay, well, that's problematic. Are there any blocks that don't stick to slime blocks? Well, that's also problematic. Okay, so the block that triggers that has to be on a diagonal, it looks like. And that's going to cause a problem because that no longer points at that. Dang it. Okay. So I might need a repeater just to get the signal to go into here. I've been looking at a few ways to do this, and I think fashioning several observer blocks may actually be one of the most interesting, and I will show you why. You know how we kept having that button pop off? Well, I might have a way around that. What we're going to do is we are going to put around... Whoops. Oh, looks like we had to start entirely from scratch. Oh, and it's getting dark. Maybe we should work somewhere well lit. Let's go indoors real quick. Do I have a good place indoors to, like, safely knock myself into the ceiling? Not especially. This is okay. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to put our sticky piston right here. No. Right here. No. There. Like that. Then, we'll go ahead and we'll put our slime block here. And we'll put redstone ore on every side of it. Right? Now, when I power the piston, it'll lift all of those because it's a sticky piston. Right? That's pretty cool. So, then what we'll do is we'll put observer blocks facing upward. Dang it. Upward. Seems like if I want them to face that way, I gotta go this way. Okay, good. So that's how that works. So I gotta get below this and look up at it. Okay, I'm gonna pull all this out. This is just... I miss having my old big redstone lab. You know, maybe I could use that barn over there. Dang it, fences. All you do is tear people apart. No, keep people apart. We are in our little horse barn, which I'm going to temporarily repurpose as a redstone lab. Now, as you guys can probably tell, I'm using redstone blocks here because those will stick to the what do you call it? The slime block in the middle there, and they'll all move together. Now, I was thinking about how to make this go properly, or operate, if you will, and I came up with one idea that I kind of like, and that is to set up a sequence of, what do you call these? Observer blocks. Now, unfortunately, you have to get like really actually down below them to get this to work properly, and have those trigger when you step on the redstone. Now, that might seem like kind of overkill, but you'll notice that we're actually going underneath, so it's more like underkill. Okay. Now, those blocks will then hopefully conduct the, what do you call it? Redstone current into the center, and I will show you how that will happen with the magic of blocks. So, we are just going to place blocks like this in a plus symbol. And is that enough? Okay, so those don't actually trigger downward, do they? Dang it. Well, that's problematic. I was thinking I could get them to have the current trigger downward, but it doesn't seem like that's actually happening. So, to be clear, I have an extra one for testing here. I can set this up like so, have this facing it, and that triggered then, with the idea that it would cause this redstone to light. Yeah. Well, the first thing that we need to do is determine if an observer block can actually transmit a current downward. So we're just going to set this up, dang it, so that this guy's facing up here, right? Okay, so placing a block here, pulse triggers that, which is all we need, right? So we can stand here. There we go. Okay. So we definitely are able to transmit a signal downward with that. That's good. Now, what we're not doing is transmitting a signal back upward here. And I'm not sure exactly why that is. But I suspect, well, I mean, even before I remove that in the middle there. So what we actually need to do is have this set up. Okay. Such that we trigger a piston to move upward when those are fired. Now, you guys are probably like, wait, how does that work, Joe? Well, what'll happen is we'll run those down to here, and we'll come underneath this, and we will set up a piston way down here that looks upward and puts a red block above it. So, into that. Let's go up one more block here, I think. Okay, so from here we jump once and we have room for our piston. Okay, great. And we're gonna escape this way for a second. We're gonna place this. Now, we're gonna reallocate this grass here with its redstone, and we'll allow that same redstone to go through there, and like so. So now all four of these observer blocks are connected to this. And then we'll set this up with a repeater here to give a little bit of a delay, and we will set up the redstone here to feed into that. So now, whoops, when we jump out of here, if we walk on top of these blocks, the whole thing shifts upward. And then it creates an infinite loop that never ends. So that part is not ideal. Well, I think we're going to have to start from scratch on this. I think that this whole thing is just not going to work that way. So let's go ahead and try it with just, we put the sticky piston like here, put the slime block on top of it. Now, we want to have a button that will not be carried away by the slime block. Maybe one option is to have it on a diagonal, right? So we put this here, and then we have like a redstone coil runs from there to, well, we would loop it like this, kind of through a repeater, so that the repeater faces there. Okay, so let's try that now. Okay, so that seems pretty good. So that gets me a little bit of height there. And, I'm wondering if I offset the webs, like how many webs I would go through. Like, for example, if I put one up here, right? Okay, well, I hit that, but if I put another one, like, below it, immediately below it, do I go to the top? It's hard to tell, because I'm not falling fast enough. Fall faster. Okay, so I'm going to hop off real quick. I step back on, press the button. It seems like I'm only going into through the bottom one anyway. So then the next question is if I offset them. So if I have like a gap of one between them, by getting rid of that one. Now, yeah, I still stay in the lower one. So I almost want something. Can you push webs with pistons? I almost want something that pushes the webs out, like after my thing. Ooh, okay, so that's a good way to break a web. So that's not gonna work. Probably don't want that there. Oh, I guess I could do something that pushes me into the webs after I get high enough up. So like if I had the webs actually offset one further, right? Like up here. Oh, and then I use my shears instead of my pickaxe, which would break it. Although it is a silk touch pick, so it might be okay. So then I jump to the top of that. Okay, that seems like the way to do it, is to have a stack of these, and then that you can't use it on the web itself, but yeah, there you go. Okay, so you have the webs surrounded. Wow, that's a really nice boost. So you have the webs surrounding the thing. I wonder if I could like get a bunch of these creepers to blow up each other. No, they're not gonna. Dang it. Oh well. But core concept, having the webs get pushed, or having the webs offset, will fix a lot of these problems. Let's go ahead and actually deploy this in the real world over in our base. So, we come in here and we say, this is it. This is where we're gonna put our thing. And our button is gonna have to be offset from it slightly anyway. But that's alright. So let's get the axe out so we can chop more diligently. And we'll install this like so, I guess. Now, I am a little bit concerned it's going to try and lift. Well, maybe it won't lift up half slabs because of the way they work. Like, you can't even put half slabs on the ground there. Like, let's just try this. Oh, that won't fire because it's stuck. It can't move because of all the other stuff nearby. Dang it. Okay. Well, let's try it this way. If we had one, will the fences keep it from moving? And we're going to obviously need another button. Or to use the same button. Okay. Well, the fence hilariously moves with it, but is not such an encumbrance that I consider this a failure. We do need to set up our button here instead. So let's try that, like so. Oh, and we also need to hew out our ceiling. Let's go ahead and get rid of that part. So, you come up here, you step right up, and that's actually almost functional. Like, the biggest thing that we need to do is re-implement the seal-in directly above this part, which is relatively trivial. Boom, seal-in achieved. And so you hit that, and then you fly to the top of this stack of cobwebs. So we've already achieved the offset part that we talked about. And then you're gone. Okay, so this might not be the optimal design, but considering that we started from first principles without actually knowing like what any of those principles were or really looking anything up, I'm willing to call this a successful scientific experiment in developing advanced knowledge of how to fly. And you know what? We might even, once we get more slime balls, incorporate something similar alongside of our chimney here. If you remember, our chimney blocks come up right here. So, ooh, that's going to be a problem because it's going to bump into those walls. Dang it. Well, this room's pretty much nice on its own anyway. But you know what? Did Cubfan ever drop any other books off? Nope. Okay. Just curious. Well, anyway, it's been a flightful and fruitful day. Thank you guys for joining me. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.